So, good evening. My name is Akambiolu Johnson, and I'm the host for the cybersecurity webinar we have today, which is being titled Cybersecurity 101, Getting Started in Cybersecurity. So, in this webinar, we'll be learning a lot in this webinar, and it will be a great time where we'll actually have an industry expert that will actually join us, and he will be the one to take us through this journey where we also have questions. We also have privilege to ask questions from him, and also have a lot of maybe you have doubts, can actually ask from him, and we'll also make sure he finds. So we're sorry for that. First, sorry for the breakdown. So we'll be, well, um, will be the one to also enlighten us in maybe we have some people that have been doubting, okay, how am I able to transition into cybersecurity? Will I be um will I be able to transition to cybersecurity? Is it very, very easy for me to actually transition into cybersecurity? Now, cybersecurity, it's a very nice niche that actually you have to how can I say it? You have to make sure you actually have passion for cybersecurity. You have to have not just okay, what they're actually saying outside there, not just what you think, oh, join cybersecurity and actually earn money. All right. So what keeps you going every day should be your passion to learn cybersecurity. Please, Mr. Bayo Shune, please, can you please mute your mic? Oh, thank you very much for that. So cybersecurity is actually a niche that is very, very lucrative, and it's a niche where you have to be very, very how can I say it? You have to be very, very updated on the field, because every day there is an update every day in cybersecurity. Now the host is my name is Akonbiolo Akonle. I am the cybersecurity instructor at Mindflux. Now, what do we do at Mindflux? Now, Mindflux is an edutech company that actually provides learning platforms. A learning platform is a learning company that actually gives room for newbies, or for maybe a person, anybody that wants to transition to tech, be it data analysis, cybersecurity, AI model, and so on and so forth. So, Mindflux is actually Mindflux Academy is an edutech firm that actually helps you to actually start your career in cybersecurity, in any tech niche or field that you want. And the beautiful part of Mindflux Academy is that we don't just teach from the advanced class. So what we start from is we start from the graduate, we start from the root. So how does that happen? So how are we going to do that? So that is why we actually brought out this webinar, and we actually titled this webinar as Cybersecurity 101. That is getting started in cybersecurity. What are the things we'll be getting today? What are the things you will learn today? That is, you'll be learning the core principles, right? How to detect, hands-on working, hands-on walkthrough of real cybersecurity tools, and to be a great time between every to be a great time for us, where you'll be learning a lot of things from our guest speaker, because our guest speaker is someone that is very very vast in the world of cybersecurity. He has more than 4 years experience in cybersecurity. He works with a lot of companies, be it remote, physical, hybrid, on site. So I want to say, you guys, you are all welcome to today's cybersecurity webinar. I want to say, I'm very, very sure that today, if you are still doubting it, that, oh, should I transition into cybersecurity, or, oh, should I actually start cybersecurity? I'm very, very sure that today, after this session today, you will actually change your mind that, okay, I need to register with Mindflux Academy. And Mindflux Academy, it's where we don't just teach, we don't just instruct, right? So what we do in Martial Academy is we'll take your hand, we'll put you through to the work of what you want to become, right? And we also give you the resources that you need in Mindflux Academy. So it's nice to have you all here. All right, so now moving on. Sorry. All right. All right. So welcome back. So moving on, I'll be sharing my screen. So before I actually share my screen, I want to actually invite our guest for today. His name, come in, please. I don't know if you can actually, please, can you see my screen, please? If you can see my screen, you can just reply with an emoji. If you can actually see my screen, please, can you see my screen, please? All right, good. Okay. All right, thank you very, very much, man. Thank you very, very much. All right, so before we actually start this today's webinar, it will be a great pleasure to actually invite our guest speaker for today's webinar. And let me just start from introducing. He's my friend. He's my very good friend. Though we've not seen, but he has been helping me out with a lot of things online. Has been helping We have been helping each other out with a lot of things when it comes to the world of cybersecurity. All right. His name is Shonde Samuel. He's a cybersecurity specialist with over 3 years of experience in application security engineering, penetration testing, and security research across mobile, API, and web technologies. To crown it up, Samuel Shonde is actually it's someone that actually built tools that make work easier. So Samuel Shonde, please, you can actually unmute your mic. I don't know if you can actually see my screen.
Yeah, I can see your screen. Good evening,
All
everyone.
right.
So can I go now?
Yes, you can go on. You can go on. Yes, you can go on.
Uh, all right, okay. Thank you, Kunle. So, again, good evening, everybody. My name, he has introduced me already, so I don't know if I should do any brief introduction again. So, but my name is Shonde Samuel. So, I am focused in application security engineering. That's like my own main niche in cybersecurity. So, I'm guessing this call is meant for cybersecurity beginners. So, by the end of this call, you are going to understand what I meant by application security engineering and my own niche, because cybersecurity is actually a very wide space. Like there are a lot of branches, and some branches you can venture into and choose as your own niche in cybersecurity. So we are going to be deep diving into each and every part of that today. So follow me. So the heading for today's topic is Cybersecurity 101, getting started in cybersecurity. So please, if you don't have your pen and paper, try and get them so that you can jot one or two things down. You get. So yeah, let's move on now. So what you'll be learning today, I think he mentioned, Kunle already mentioned that we are going to be learning foundations in cybersecurity and foundational cybersecurity concepts, system security, uh, threats mitigation and protection, hands-on experience with cybersecurity tools. Then we have various career paths in cybersecurity, as I've mentioned earlier when I was talking about niche. So we are going to be venturing into career paths and opportunities in cybersecurity. So let's proceed. So one thing that comes to people mind when it comes to cybersecurity, once you hear cybersecurity, is, oh, you watch movies like you've seen a lot of movies whereby people start striking their keyboard and they press and they're like, oh, I'm in, I've had this, I've done that, stealing government funds and all that. But mostly cybersecurity is not just about hacking. Yeah, that's the one deep misconception that people have. So cybersecurity is not only about hacking. Sometimes it's about protecting businesses. It's about preventing attacks and every other thing. So yeah, I have a definition here for cybersecurity. So one thing that should come into everybody's mind once they hear cybersecurity is protecting. Yet so cyber, based on the word, is protecting digital assets. So cybersecurity is the practice of protecting systems, network programs, and data from digital attacks. So these attacks are usually aimed at accessing, changing, or destroying sensitive information, extorting money, or interrupting normal business operations. So what this means is cybersecurity now is about protecting digital assets, as I've said earlier. So we have uh, different various attacks that can be carried out on an organization or a software or whatever. Like, yeah, let's use an organization for example. So we have different attacks that can be carried out on them that can prevent their services from running smoothly and can endanger both the organization and the users. Get. So that's what cybersecurity is about. It's about protecting digital assets. That's Let's have that one in mind. So now let's move to the importance of cybersecurity. So I mentioned earlier now that once you hear the word cybersecurity, just know that okay, one thing you should be doing is protecting. Like one thing that should be ringing at the back of your mind is I want to protect people's assets. You get. So that's the main thing in cybersecurity, protecting and ensuring business are being available, like services are being rendered and available, and then also smooth running of the day-to-day operations in whatever organization or software technologies or just the internet. Yet, so and ensuring that those things run smoothly. That's one of the importance of cybersecurity. Now, let me move to first thing on my list here is importance of cybersecurity. Cybersecurity protects personal data. Get. So that's safeguard your bank details, your passwords, your medical records, and furthermore, like and more things from hackers. You get. So once you hear hackers, mostly they are like attackers, the bad guy. We call them the bad guy, even though sometimes they're actually not the bad guy. Sometimes they mean good, but with time you understand what I mean by that. So it protects your personal data. That's number one thing in cybersecurity. So it's going to safeguard all these things like your bank details, passwords, medical record. Because I said earlier, cybersecurity is not really meant for a software company alone. Yeah, it's not meant for maybe okay tech people, web devs, and whatever. So you can have cybersecurity in banks. That's like the major ones. You have it in banks. You can have it in healthcare, different kind of infras. Yet different kind of organizations can use cybersecurity. Yet so secondly, it prevents financial loss. So it stops cyber criminal from stealing money or ransoming your data. So once you guys have heard of something like kidnappers, you get we have like let's say in their day-to-day life, like physical life, we have kidnappers normal. You get and also online we have kidnappers too. So that's what we call something like ransomware. So they hold your digital assets in ransom and expecting a specific pay. Yes. So that disturbs the day-to-day running of people's of an organization's activity mostly. So if an organization is act, you might be saying, "Oh, I am secure in my own way. I am not doing anything that will put harm in my own way." Yes. But the organizations, the services you are using every day now can be endangered, and then as a result of that, your own information too is endangered because in cybersecurity, one thing that is good to everyone is their information. That's their personal information, PII, personal identifiable information. So that's like the good online. Yes, it's just like you have okay money in real life, but online, your digital assets, number one data asset is your personal information. You get your credit card details, your NIN, your BVN, things like that, your passwords. Those are your own digital assets, like your good online. So those are things that can be held in ransom by any threat actor. You get so now cybersecurity is there to prevent these things like financial losses and the likes. So it also maintains privacy. Like I was talking about PII earlier, your personal identifiable information not getting leaked down. Or so maintaining privacy now keeps your conversation files and personal activities safe. So whatever you are sharing online should be safeguarded well. You get whatever organization or tech you are using or software you're using and mobile applications you're using should be protected, like well protected. So cybersecurity is what is guiding these things. Like it is what is making your data online secure. Yes. So it protects businesses, prevents business interruption and loss of customer trust. So in cybersecurity, these parts now they can be broken down into something. I'll move into that part soon. We call something CIA triad. So if you have that thing in mind, that's like the core of cybersecurity. So from there you can generate different things, like different importance of cybersecurity. So I'll still move into what I mean by CIA triads, but make sure that okay, this last part now falls under the CIA triad, like prevent business interruption and loss of customers' trust. That's the integrity part you get. So I'll move into that. So we have a little analogy here. So just like you lock your house to keep out burglars, cybersecurity is the digital lock that keeps attackers away from your computer and your information. We get that. So moving on now, we have the core areas of cybersecurity. So I was talking about niche earlier. We have different specific niche each person can enter, like can focus into and be like, okay, this is where I'm picking, this is where I prefer, and this is what I love to protect. You get so as a cybersecurity beginner with time, you are going to branch into this part. Yes, you're going to branch into various parts of it. Not you don't need to pick everything all at once. You just need to like find the one that interests you the most, the one that you feel connected to the most. So first, let me just list the core areas we have in cybersecurity. One, we have the network security. So network security now, from the word network, you already understand that. So involves so network security involves securing internal networks from intrusions by monitoring traffic and enforcing firewalls and access control. So what this means is I don't know if you guys have heard anything about firewall protection, things like that. So this part now of cybersecurity deals with protecting internet. Let's just put it that way, like the HTTP protocol, the whatever you're doing that is connected to the internet, whatever device you have that is accessible to the internet, that has an IP address, or connected to an IP. That's what network security deals with. So you're ensuring that whatever is connected to the internet is secure. You have a firewall in place. You have an IPS or IDS in place. Things like intrusion detection and intrusion prevention system. Things like that are in place. So those are network security core in cybersecurity. So moving on, we have the application security. This application security is the niche I fall into. Also, your the person or the host need to call to who's going to be your mentor also falls under application security. So application security focuses on identifying and fixing vulnerabilities in software before attackers can exploit them. So what this just means, I think this one is sort of more explanatory than network security. So what this one focuses on is daily not devices this time, daily applications and softwares we use now, ensuring that the vulnerabilities are uh, mitigated, like are prevented and then looked into. So this is what application security does. So we have something called the shift left in application security. That's integrate. This process involves integrating security into the design phase of any software application. So maybe software, mobile app, anything. We just call them software in general. So we have a term for that, like in application security called software development lifecycle or secure software development lifecycle. You might have heard of something like that before. So this part of cybersecurity now is what deals with whatever application you are using day to day on your system, on your laptop, whatever. Yeah, so that's application security. We have information security now. They ensure they ensure confidentiality, integrity, and availability of data, whether in storage or in transit. So earlier I mentioned something about the core part of cybersecurity where I said CIA triad. So what the CIA triad means is C stands for confidentiality, I stands for integrity, and A stands for availability. Yes. So I will still go into that on this slide. Yes. So now this part is the main core of information security. Information security deals with data in transit. So let's put it that way. So information security deals with data in transit. So I hope we can differentiate between network security, application security, information security now. So moving on now, we have the cloud security. So this one involves protection of data. So it protects data, applications, and services hosted in cloud environments from breaches and data loss. So in cloud security now, we know these days everyone is using cloud these days. Like every program is hosted on either you guys should have heard of something like IBM, Oracle, AWS, Azure, and then we have a lot of them. GCP, that's Google Cloud Storage. So we have things like that. So hosting different services. So some people don't use physical servers anymore, or let's say purchasing domains. That's the old way of doing things, purchasing domain also and buying let's say VPS services and the rest. So most people moved have migrated their uh, their services to the cloud platforms now. So whoever is in charge of ensuring that those services are secure on the cloud platform or storage now is we call something is we call an cloud security, maybe engineer or whatever. But the main niche there is cloud security. Yeah, so I've covered network security, application security, information security now, cloud also. So now let's move to endpoint security. So in endpoint security, this secures end users devices such as laptops, smartphones, and desktops, which are often entry points for attackers. From this definition, if anyone wants to hack you, they can't just hack your brain or something. Your brain is not connected to the internet. You get it is your devices, yeah, that will be the target of any cyber attack. So to ensure those devices are safe now, that's where endpoint security comes in, because some organizations now, if you're working with them, they have this BYOD uh, protocol, which is bring your own device. Yet, so if you are bringing your own device to an organization, what is going to make sure that okay, whatever device you are bringing in, even from home, is not already compromised before you reach the organization, and you're not going to affect other people at work. So that part now is where we deal with endpoint security. That's where endpoint security comes in. So yeah. Little tips for beginners now. So start with one area to build foundational knowledge, then expand into others as you grow. So I mentioned earlier that as a beginner, you don't need to focus on everything. You don't need to like, okay, because hearing all this now, you might be like, okay, you might be overwhelmed immediately, like, oh, we have network, we have application, we have cloud, which one am I going to branch into? Don't worry about that. You are going to get which the one to branch into with time. You're going to understand that, okay, this is where I want to fall into, this is where I want to go. So with time, people will be able to decide, okay, if I want to become an attacker or a defensive person or an analyst, you get, or someone who will be an auditor for an organization, you get. So let's proceed. I will expatiate more on the hacker part, defensive part, and then the auditor part, which is GRC. So let's proceed. So yeah, moving on, we have the goals of cybersecurity. The goals of cybersecurity, that's what we're talking about, the CIA triad. You can see now that I think for the third time now or fourth time, I can't even count. I've mentioned the CIA triad like maybe four times now. So CIA triad is really, really important in cybersecurity. It's like a very core principle in cybersecurity. Like you need to follow over the back of your mind on whatever you do, whatever services you're entering. You get. So I mentioned earlier that okay, C stands for confidentiality. Now, so when we're dealing with confidentiality, we authorized individuals can access sensitive information. For example, only you now and your doctor should be able to view your medical records. So that's one thing. Like if you have a medical record with a specific hospital now, just you and your doctor should know about it. Even if it's not doctor, if it's not an hospital, it's something like you and your therapist. If you have a therapist now, if you're talking to the therapist, just you and the therapist should be able to like understand what's going on in your head. Nobody other person should hear about it. So it's just like that with medical records and it does it now. So that part of confidentiality is going to protect that okay, whatever you say in private remains private. Yeah. So if you visit the hospital, whatever illness or whatever condition you complain to the doctor and they fill in report or type online, most hospitals use internet infrastructures these days. They study patient records and everything there. So those records should not be leaked out. You get. So that's confidentiality. That means you have confidence that okay, yeah, in this specific hospital, okay, yeah, all my informations are secure. Yeah. So that's confidentiality. So moving on to the integrity part, data must be accurate and trustworthy. Unauthorized changes like modifying grades or bank balances should be prevented. So that's like interception of requests. You get integrity now. Nobody should be able to alter your data. You get whatever data is being stored by an organization of you. You get that's I was mentioning something about PII earlier. So nobody should be able to alter any like make any changes to your record aside you, or at least nobody aside you should be able to do that. So that's integrity that okay, you have integrity and you're sure that okay, my data is safe, everything is here. You get. So that's integrity. Availability now. I was mentioning something about smooth running operation and everything. So in availability, data and services should be accessible when needed. The hospital system must be operational 24/7. You get. So that's why I mentioned the smooth running. Once you remember smooth running, you remember availability. Irrespective of whatever is going on in an organization, if an organization is under attack, cyber attack or not, everything must be running smoothly, and your information and services you even need to like do, or the services they are rendering must be running 2/7. Nothing must disrupt them. So that's where the availability comes in. So, for example, online banking must protect your data. That's confidentiality. Ensures the amount is correct. That's like integrity, and be available whenever you log in. You get. Imagine logging into OP and you can't check your account balance or you can't make a transfer or do anything like that. So that's not smooth running. So that availability part of their services is breached. You get. So that's just the basic explanation of CIA triad. So moving on now, common cyber threats that we have. So we have phishing. That we are number one on the list is phishing. So once you hear phishing, that just means fake emails or websites that trick you into giving away personal information or login credentials. So most of the time during this phishing now, it's just like during phishing now, it's just like let's say you guys should have heard many times that people say, okay, I clicked on a link and I got hacked or my account got wiped or let's say my Gmail or email got compromised, things like that. So that's a phishing attack. You get whatever especially when you see something like links, a fake website asking you for login details or excessive information about you. That's mostly phishing attack. So secondly, we have malware. We have malware. So for malware now, this is a malicious software like viruses, trojans, spyware that harms or gain access to your system. Yet so that's a malware for you. So malware is like specially crafted software itself or program. Let's call it a program itself to exploit users. That's what we know as malware. So next one we have ransomware. This one's now they lock your files and demand payments to unlock them. So I don't know if you've heard like there are a lot of ransomware attacks if you check online. So whereby an organization gets compromised, let's say yeah, they get compromised and then all their files are locked. Mostly these are carried out by malwares. Get so ransomwares and malwares are sort of connected in a way. So once these data get locked, they ask you for specific maybe transfer to this. Mostly they don't use bank accounts. They are smarter. They mostly use crypto payment. They ask you to pay a specific amount into this wallet address also, and then they will unlock your file. Yes. So that's like ransomware. So moving on, we have social engineering. This one manipulates people into revealing confidential information, e.g., pretending to be IT support. So under social engineering, I think phishing sort of falls under social engineering, but let's just call it social engineering as a whole itself. So it's just like you questioning someone. You've seen movies where FBI or let's say the police are trying to question someone into like interrogating you to maybe find out who committed one crime, who did this, with that. So social engineering is just like that psychological trick attackers use to get information out of you. Get so and this information are actually the sensitive ones they need, like sharing date of birth, sharing the name of your pet, your mother's name, your father's name, where you were giving birth to, the hospital, things like that. So those things are social engineering. You get so if anyone is asking you too much information, be wary of that person. Like, okay, why are you asking me such information? Yeah. So mostly it's just like psychological hacking. You know, hacking is like okay, speaking with your own terminal, speaking with your keyboard and all. But in social engineering now, it's just like hacking the human mind. Yes, hacking humans themselves. Yes, so that's social engineering. So we have DDoS. So that's like a distributed denial of service. That's the full meaning of DDoS. So we have DDoS attacks. This overwhelms the service like websites with traffic until it crashes. You know, earlier we were mentioning the availability part. You know, if DDoS deals with availability part of the core principles of cybersecurity. You get so if a DDoS attack is carried out, well, I was explaining availability. Like I said, no matter the threats that an organization is under, you should still be able to reuse their services. So now, DDoS is an attack crafted specially to affect the availability part. It's going to disrupt the 247 service rendering of that specific organization. So that's what DDoS attack does. They send multiple, let's say multiple requests or packets, or yeah, mostly packets and requests from different system like bots get to a specific target system get. So that's DDoS attack. So awareness is number one key to prevent with this common cyber threat. We still have for like other cyber threats attack, but these are the common ones we deal with. So awareness is key. Knowing these threats help you avoid them. So once you have information at hand, I think once you know who you are dealing with, like what you're dealing with, you should be equipped enough to fight these things. So that's why awareness is like really important in any organization. Yes, so have that on at the back of your mind. So moving on, let's move to the basic cybersecurity tools now. So for the basic cybersecurity tools, number one, we have antivirus slash and anti-malware. Yeah, so just if the malware is to be just no antivirus, you guys should be aware of antivirus almost every time. So we have different kind of antiviruses like Avast, Microsoft Defender. Like we have a lot of them, like a lot of them. So these things now they scan and remove harmful softwares from your system. So once it detects that okay, this program might actually be a malicious one, yes, that might compromise your system. So antivirus is going to remove that file automatically. So, so that one is number one. We have the firewalls. Firewalls control incoming and outgoing traffic based on security rules. So firewalls now they have specific rules that are set to monitor each things like each activities on a network. Mostly it's actually a network. Firewalls are mostly set on networks or applications. Let's just say applications in general, but mostly on networks. So they monitor each activity of each user, and then they prevent whatever malicious any activity they discover that okay, or they detect, and they match the pattern that this activity is the malicious one, then the firewall is going to drop such activity or alert whoever is in charge you get. So that's the work of firewall. Then we have VPNs, which is virtual private networks. So this encrypts your internet connections, making it harder for attackers to spy. Yeah, so in your own main network now, without a VPN, you are still prone to getting hacked in some sort of way, especially if you connect to, you guys should be hearing that, okay, don't connect to unknown wireless networks like Wi-Fi. Like don't connect to unknown networks like that. Let's say you are out in public and you're just connecting to it and using it to make transfer and do stuff. So this is actually dangerous. So if you have a VPN, you can just connect to it to tunnel your network. So this would make attackers find it difficult to actually target your main device. You get your main IP address. So you're going to tunnel everything and then just the different locations, and also it's not going to make it easy for them like that. So that's the work of VPN. And then some organizations you make use of VPNs. Also, I was mentioning earlier that some organizations make use of this rule, bring your own device rule. So if everyone is bringing their own device, some of them are advised, or most of them are advised to connect to a VPN at work. You get so to prevent any dangerous activities going on, maybe from their own system or from any compromised system. You get so we have password managers. They store complex they store complex passwords securely, reducing reuse and weak credentials. So most people face, especially humans, like humans are actually the weakest link in cybersecurity. Just note that we are the weakest link in cybersecurity. So most of the time we have this issue whereby we cannot store too much passwords in that. Like even I myself, I forget a lot of passwords. Yes. So to prevent this, just make use of password manager. And then the reason why this password manager is useful as a tool in cybersecurity is because it's going to prevent you reusing the same password. If you're reusing the same password over and over again, like okay, you already have this weak password, maybe 1 2 3 4, and maybe you add few hash or Apple stuff or something to just push it up, but it's still the same across different or multiple platforms. That's actually dangerous. So it can be too predictable, and then it can allow brute force attack on your on whatever application you're using or your device. They can just run a brute force attack on you, and then if your password is in the dictionary, you get compromised. You get so to prevent this, use secure passwords, strong passwords. Like this way, you mix up passwords with special characters, maybe capital letter, small letter, numbers, special characters, and something like hash, pound signs, dollar signs, etc. Yeah, so you mix them. So if you do this now, you know you are prone to forgetting those passwords. So in order not to forget, you can just save those passwords now on a password manager. You get not the password manager on your browser. Please, that's not secure at all. Like password manager on browsers are not secure. If it prompts you like okay, save password, no, don't allow it. Just press no. It's not secure. Just have another password, something like Google password manager. I use Node. I think there are still other password managers. If you search maybe Play Store or your Apple, whatever Apple Store. Now you can find different password managers just to securely save your password. So the only password you just need now to know is just the password to enter that specific application. Once you know that one, the rest of the password are like secure and okay. So you don't need to cram any password. Just use whatever secure password you want to use and store it there. You get. So we have the 2FA, that's the two-factor authentication. I know most people have heard this one a lot of times. Well, especially on WhatsApp, it's very popular on WhatsApp. Like, okay, enable your 2FA, enable your 2FA every time you keep hearing it. So this 2FA prevents you from getting hacked in a way that, okay, So in a way that okay, he's going to ask for two things, like one, let's say your password, your main password to enter the account. I'm not using WhatsApp. WhatsApp doesn't really ask for password. You just assign it to FA. You get. So I'm using something like, let's say your Facebook account. You have 2FA enabled. After enabling 2FA and connecting, maybe scanning maybe QR code, it shows you a recovery code or something like that. So after giving you things like that, now once you want to log in again, it's actually for one, that first password, the main password to enter that account. Then two, it's going to ask you for a secure, maybe OTP sent to you, things like that you get. So it's mostly 6 digits, characters, I mean numbers or characters mostly. So it asks you for an extra, that's an extra layer of security itself. So now, okay, yeah, based on this definition, so it adds extra layer of protection by requiring a second form of verification, e.g. SMS code. You get. So sometimes if you want to reset a password, let's say WhatsApp, you want to reset your WhatsApp, or you're just logging in on a new phone on WhatsApp, it's going to give you an OTP, send it to your main line, and then if you have a password set on your WhatsApp again, it's going to ask for it. So that's like 2FA authentication. You get. So yeah, moving on now. Let's move on. So cybersecurity career paths. Yeah. So earlier we've been able to discuss the core areas of cybersecurity, like we discussed network security, application security, cloud security, endpoints, and the likes. So now we have core cybersecurity career paths. Yet every one of them have a career path. Every part of that niche you saw in cybersecurity earlier, maybe application security, cloud, and the rest, they have a core path now. So number one, in the cybersecurity career path, we have security analyst. So what a security analyst does is they monitor system for threats, investigate alerts, and ensure security tools are working. That's what an analyst does. You guys might have heard something like SOC, that's SOC. So security operations center. So mostly they are security analysts. They fall under security analyst part. So these are defensive security people. So their own work now is to investigate alerts. So what that alert means, in case you guys are new to it. So what that alert means is that okay, once they notice maybe a malicious stuff on the firewall, so there's a specific rule. I told you earlier that a firewall has a specific rule set. So once that rule is triggered, now there's going to be an alert. So people will investigate that alert now. They are security analysts. So they fall under defensive security parts in cybersecurity. You get. So those are security analysts. So moving on now. So these people are not hackers. You get. They are defensive people, and they have a very huge amount of work they do. Also, so I told you earlier that okay, cybersecurity doesn't need to. You don't need to be on the attacker end to feel like okay, you're doing something in cybersecurity. We have different things you can do in cybersecurity aside hacking. You get. If hacking is not your thing, go to defensive. If defensive is not your thing, go to auditing. That's GRC. So we have everything listed here. So now let's move on. Penetration testers, these are the attackers. Now, these are the attackers. You get what we can call the bad guys, but this time they are not the bad guys. These hackers are white hat hackers. You get they have legal credentials or legal permissions to actually hack your system. You get maybe not your own system, like an organization system. So they have permission to do that. So they simulate cybersecurity attacks to find and fix vulnerabilities before bad actors exploit them. You get so that's what differentiates an ethical hacker from a black hat hacker. That's the black hat hacker is the bad guy. Yeah. So an ethical hacker now, which they are known as a penetration tester. That's like the corporate name. You get penetration testers, but mostly they are just ethical hackers. You can call them white hat hackers. Now they are the ones that carry out these attacks legally. You get on whatever infrastructure or technology that is available to test. You get. So moving on, we have the security engineers. These people they design and build secure systems, develop defensive solutions, and fix vulnerabilities. So whatever vulnerabilities is being reported, the first thing the security analyst detects, okay, something maybe malicious activities, then reports to whoever is in charge, like a CTO or someone. You get so the people that are going to like make sure that thing is looked into properly and then uh, properly fixed and secure. Those are the security engineers. So these people ensure their own work is to like ensure that okay, whatever system we are building is secure, or whatever vulnerabilities is reported by the penetration tester, which is the ethical hacker now, it is fixed. So security engineer ensures that it is fixed and well detailed, documented, and explained. You get to the board. So that's what security engineers do. So moving on, we have incident responders. These people they react quickly to breaches or attacks, containing damage and investigating the cause. You get so I mentioned earlier that security analysts deals they look into the alerts, investigate, and so the people that will now investigate thoroughly of whatever incidents or whatever is causing the firewall trigger or malicious activities in the system now are the incident responders. Get and incident responders don't only wait to get logs. Sometimes when there's a data breach in a company, when there's a cyber attack going on, people who are going to be like the first line in action are the incident responders. You get so the response to threats, you get containing damages and investigating causes of those threats. So that's incident response people. So if that's your taste, like that's your place now, that's where you'll be learning about the military attack framework and the rest. You get. So now we have the GRC analysts now. These are the auditors. You guys, we have been mentioning auditors since. So these people deal with less technical stuff. Yet so they deal with less technical. So if you don't like the technicality of defensive security and offensive security. Offensive security, that's the penetration testing and the application security and whatever. So if you don't like the technicality of those things now, and you know, okay, you can memorize rules, you can read well, and keep yourself updated with technologies, I think GRC is a very good and cool career paths to look into. So that's the GRC analyst, governance, risk, and compliance. So that's the full meaning of GRC. So what they do now is they focus on policies, standards, laws, and ensure organizations follow them. You know, earlier I was saying that okay, you need to read, you need to keep yourself conversant with latest technology and then maybe threats, yeah, in the kind of way, and ensure that mostly they deal with let's call them the lawyers in cybersecurity. So like they're the lawyers in cybersecurity. That's what I just but that's what I bracket them into. So they're like the lawyers in cybersecurity. So they ensure that you follow standard procedures and policies in an organization. Get so we have different standard procedures and policies. You start hearing things like ISO, IECs, and the likes like that. Like there are a lot of terms in GRC itself. So and it's a really cool niche also. So now tips, choose based on your interest. Some rules are more technical and all other policy focused. So what I said it earlier that okay, you can just choose whatever comes to your mind. That, okay, if you know that okay, you do like technicality, go for the less technical one. You get something like GRC, student response. I think they are technical in their own way, but not like the others, like defensive, offensive. You get. So moving on now. So how to get started in cybersecurity. So number one thing is understand computer basics. If you don't understand how computer work, I don't know how you want to uh, attack or defend them or even audit them. You get so you need to understand the basics, like understand how the computer works, learn how operating system files and internet works. You get so you need to learn how those things. Like we have various operating systems. We have Linux, Windows, mostly Linux and Windows. That's like so you get so if you don't understand how they work, how their file and structures, how they store things, how their files are being structured online, and also the internet, how the internet works, I'm not sure you are going to be able to do much in cybersecurity. So you need to understand common computer basics first. Then you need to understand you have networking knowledge. You get so cybersecurity now is not an offline work, is an online work. You get you are securing digital assets. You need to understand how these digital assets communicate with each other, how data is being sent out and received. You get so things like understanding IP addresses, ports, protocols like TCP, UDP, DNS, and then firewalls. So you need to understand these things. Yet have at least a basic knowledge on them is okay till you find the niche you want to go into. And if your niche is like network security, you need to go deep in networking. You get, but have at least the networking knowledge for anything you want to do in cybersecurity. It is really, really, it's really going to help you. Like you are going to keep seeing coming across network and stuff. So really irrespective of where you are in cybersecurity. So three, learn Linux and Windows. I think I mentioned that earlier when I mentioned operating system in number one. So you need to learn Linux and Windows. You need to learn how to use it. We don't. Most people are familiar with Windows already. I'm very sure most of you are using Windows. Some of us, the cybersecurity experts, we really don't use Windows much like that. Most of us have ditched it. So, but at least we had knowledge on it. We've used Windows for years. We have an understanding of how Windows run, and then we moved to Linux. So you need to understand how this true operating system work. So most tools run on Linux, and Windows is widely used in organizations. So Windows is like beginner friendly. Should I say beginner friendly or everyone friendly? That's just what Windows is. Yeah. So Windows is easy to use. Everyone uses Windows, obviously. Get, but if you're moving to cybersecurity level, you need to understand Linux. Get most servers. Yeah, it's not even most. I think almost or like 90% of servers around the world run on a Linux server. You get. Let's say like 20 or 10% of them run on Windows. That's when you see saying things like Active Directory and the likes. You get. So learn Linux and Windows. So explore free resources. We have different platforms where you can learn cybersecurity and deep dive, like really deep dive into them. You get, even though you still need guide, you need someone to guide you. You need a clear roadmap and all those things. But we have platforms that can also you can use to further your learning after learning from this organization. Yeah, so we have platforms like TryAcme, we have At the Box, we have Cyberseurity, we have the various YouTube tutorials. Like I have used YouTube tutorials for a lot of things in cybersecurity. So we have different platforms for them. Lots more cybersecurity niche down platforms. So you can explore these free resources also. Then you get certified in cybersecurity. Yeah, so that is what differentiates cybersecurity from other tech fields. You get most of them don't really need to get certified before they land roles or they are really seen or their significance in the industry. But in cybersecurity, you need to have at least two for me, I think two significant entry level certifications we get. So we have like an entry level certification. The common ones we have are the likes of CompTIA Security Plus. We have Google Security, Google Cybersecurity certifications, or Cisco Cyber Ops are also great starting points to get. So once you start, I think your mentor here, which is Akin, is going to that is going to use some Cisco materials with you also. So in you are going to get familiar with Cisco also. So you see what I mean by Cisco Cyber Ops and great for learning for starting out. So you understand Computer Security Plus. We still have Network Plus. If you are going into network engineering, you still have Network Plus. We have OSCP for the pen testers. We have ASCP also. That's for API and application security people. Mobile security also. So different certifications, but the entry level ones are the Computer Security Plus, Google Security, Google Cybersecurity certificates, and some other ones like that. So moving on now. Okay, before I move on, let me just I think there's a place I'm missing. Okay, yeah, wait. So practice regularly and don't rush the process. Yeah, so I think I'm still going to give you beginner advice at the end of this talk. So one thing in cybersecurity, you cannot grab everything at once. Don't even try that. Like, don't try that. You can't grab everything at once. Sometimes you take a break. Sometimes you get lost. Sometimes you. So that's one thing a mentor is for. You get someone that can guide you along the way. So just practice regularly and document these journeys. Write everything. See, that's why I said at the beginning of this talk, I said have a pen and paper with you. So I think you start keeping. If you don't keep a pen and paper culture, even if it's not a pen and paper, like physical pen and paper, have a digital notes, something like Notion, Obsidian. We have different Google remote keeping notes like that. I prefer Notion on my own part, so I don't know if you guys know of Notion, but you can search Notion. So have things like that to document your journey, like whatever you learn, because you cannot know everything, like cannot put everything in cybersecurity in your head straight up. So there are some definitions, there are some terms you need to like jot down and then refer to later in the future and just okay, oh, this is this. So it can just jot your brain quickly. You get instead of going on Google and searching again. So you need to keep a note taking app. So practice regularly and don't rush yourself. So now moving on. Cybersecurity learning roadmap. I mentioned roadmap earlier. So phase one of the roadmap, we have the foundation. So in the foundation now, learn how computers and operating system work. It sounds similar to what I said earlier. So once you learn how a computer works and communicates and operates, how they structure their files, I think you are good to go as foundation. At least that's the basic knowledge. So get basic knowledge of networking. You can see network is going to be following you everywhere you go. Please don't skip networking as a cybersecurity beginner. Please. I'm saying please because I made a mistake one time when I started like 4 years back. I made a mistake of skipping networking. I skipped it for 2 years straight. Like not like I skipped everything totally, but I just did some really small stuff on networking. I just all that was on my mind was okay. I want to be an attacker. I just want to hack. You get that's what was on my mind. So I thought okay, if I skipped it, it would be cool. I'll just go to the main hacking stuff and start slapping my keyboard anyhow. But later I had to like when I went deep into penetration testing, I saw that okay, networking is everywhere you go. So I had to go back and learn networking. So please don't skip networking. Don't skip networking phase. Even though it might not be your very interest, it might be some people's interest. As you go on with time, you might see some people might fall in love with networking. Please don't skip it. So phase two, security fundamentals. Study types of threats and how attacks work. So there are different attacks we have. I was mentioning phishing, social engineering, and the likes. And under it, I said earlier that we have different threats and vulnerabilities and the likes you get. We have lots of them. We have Bluetooth attacks. So it's not limited to web technologies alone. We have Bluetooth attacks like that. So I think we have one blue something. I forgot. Maybe blue jacking. Yeah, that's for Bluetooth attack. So we have study those vulnerabilities, study those threats. You get under the web we have SQL, Bola, under APIs we have Bola, broken access control, blah blah blah. So there are a lot of threats out there that you need to like get constantly familiar with. So understand basic defense tools and concepts. You get so under the basic defense tools, you can use something like Wireshark, for example. Wireshark is for analyzing if you're on defensive side. Wireshark is for analyzing packets and monitor traffics. You get so we have a defensive tool. We have the Wazo. That's for configuring firewall rules. We have the Splunk. We have Snot and the like. So yeah, you need to get familiar with those things. So we are phase three hands-on labs. So this is where your platforms comes in. Something like the Track Me and the Active Box. So there are platforms that can help you have a hands-on lab because most of the things you'll be doing at the beginning phase of cybersecurity will be reading. You might not get to like practice immediately, but there's things to practice. But if you reach like let's say phase two, you should touch some things. You get your hands dirty a little bit. So now to keep your hands like into the field, like feel like okay, you are deep inside cybersecurity, you need to have some hands-on lab. So that's where your Track Me and Active Box comes in. So practice capture the flag. We'll call something capture the flag, CTF challenges in cybersecurity. So you need to practice them where it's like a lab setup for you to like it's going to simulate real world attacks, maybe even if it's not attacks, maybe real world compromises, like system that is already compromised that you need to investigate, you get things like that. So that's CTF. So you are going to like yeah, it's going to help you prepare for the real world, what you'll be working on in an organization. Let's say you get hired in future. So what you'll be working is going to simulate the environment for you where okay, you're going to get familiar, yeah, with such. So now moving on phase four, we have this specialization and career preps. So choose a path, something like the analyst, the tester, the engineer. You know, we mentioned security analyst, penetration tester, and security engineer earlier. So in the phase four of your roadmap, that's when you get to choose like, okay, this is where I want to focus on. I said earlier that I'm focused on application security and penetration testing. Also, your mentor to like the person that will be guiding you through this whole stuff now is focused in application security and penetration testing. Also, so we pen test between web, mobile, cloud. So things like any infrastructure like that. So that's what we deal with. So you are going to choose which one you want to go into, which one you fall in love with time. Yes, with time you're going to pick which one you want to go into deeply. So we are going to choose a career path in cybersecurity with time. So build a home lab, document your learning. I mentioned documenting your learning earlier, and then create cybersecurity portfolio. So that place is really important. Building your own home labs to hack on, or if it's not hacking that you're choosing, if it's defense you're choosing, I think defense is easy to defensive security labs. I think they are more easier to build. I don't know. Maybe that's really true. But in my own experience, I believe defensive security labs are easy to build than the pen testing ones. We have some which are readily available online for the offensive security people. But defensive is more worthy of documentation to me. Yeah, so you act on you sorry, why am I mentioning hacking too much? So you get to carry out your defensive work on whatever home lab you set. This home lab now, when it comes to setting up home labs in your phase 4 of cybersecurity, this is going to give your career a boost. Like this is what most recruiters are looking for. You hear some people saying they land a role under 6 months, a year in cybersecurity. Is these home labs that actually get them hired quickly, even if they don't have enough certifications. So if you uh, do more home labs, build more home labs, and then document your journey, post them online, have a portfolio to like showcase these things you are doing, these cool stuff you are doing. I think it's going to boost your cybersecurity career forward quicker. Yes. So now stay consistent with that and then keep learning. You cannot stop learning in cybersecurity. There's always something new to learn. I was still discussing with my friend here the other day that okay, we have a lot of technologies in cybersecurity like to keep up with. We are even still learning, even after my 4 years experience, I'm still learning constantly in cyber. Like every day, I'm still learning new stuff. There's always something new to learn. In fact, this year now, all of a sudden, we started seeing AI and ML. Some people have dive into AI security and then ML security, that's machine learning and stuff like that. So some people have dived into that and then style learning. We have a Web3 also. We are still mostly talking about the Web2. We have the Web3 security also, where you can audit other things on blockchain. You get so you keep learning new stuff, but don't get caught in the learning phase. Also, you need to be doing. You get don't just sit down in the reading or stuff like that. You need to be doing, or else you are going to just get cramped in this tutorial where you just keep moving around the circles. You get keep learning and keep doing stuff. You get keep breaking and building and doing cool stuff like that. So final thoughts and motivations. So that's the next one. So the final thoughts and motivations now. Cybersecurity is a growing field with endless opportunities. I said it earlier that cybersecurity is really deep and far. Like even based on everything I've mentioned now, you too you can say, okay, we have lots of niche in cybersecurity, like lots of different career paths in cybersecurity. Like, in fact, next year, today now, this year, I was saying, okay, this year people branch into AI engineering, I mean AI security, mostly this year, the MCP servers, the rise of the AI these days. So it's just crazy. Like people went into AI security a lot this year. Next year, we don't know what technology they're going to develop. There's going to be a boom to the public yet. So I think last year was Web3, more of Web3 last year. This year now is like AI. Next year, we don't know what's coming yet. So we keep advancing every day. Technology keeps advancing every day. So cybersecurity is getting wide. There's a lot of digital assets to protect each day. Yet. So it's also okay to feel overwhelmed at first. Everyone starts somewhere. So I was mentioning just now, if you start your career today, you too, you are going to be able to like say in the next few years, oh, looking back today now, it might be your 4 years. Looking back today, it might be your 10th year in cybersecurity. So it's just like that. I started from somewhere. Your mentor started from somewhere. So everyone starts from somewhere. So don't compare your journey to any other person's journey. Just focus on what you want to do. And get focus on what you are doing presently and focus on where you want to be. So that one is really important in cybersecurity. So you feel overwhelmed. That's normal. In fact, I feel overwhelmed sometimes. I just take a break, go for a walk, touch grass. You know this slang we all use, like touch grass, touch grass. So just do something like that. Disconnect yourself a bit from your laptop, then try and do some very at least human related things. Yet chill with family, whatever. So and then come back to learning and all that. So once you are able to find a balance between your personal life and then this learning process, I think cybersecurity is going to be a really, really interesting field. Like every day, you always want to do something relating to cybersecurity every day. In fact, any day you are not doing it, you just feel like, you just feel uneasy with yourself. So with time, it comes with time and discipline. You get set the structure like that. So it's normal. You're going to feel overwhelmed, but take it easy on yourself. Yeah. So connect with mentors, like someone like Kunle here, that's your mentor. You can connect with him, and there are a lot of people online. You get a lot of people online. You can mostly platforms like I think you are going to connect with people online in cybersecurity more on Twitter, like that's X. So I still call it Twitter till date. So you're going to connect more with people from there. Like you find a lot. Once you connect with more, if, for example, you follow Kunle now on Twitter, you get you are going to see a lot of other people, and the cybersecurity community is very supportive. You get so whatever you're learning, you get to find an accountability partner where you keep growing together every day. You get so you won't feel overwhelmed or anything. So you keep growing together every day, every day, every day. So you can check platforms like LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very good to post your work, like post your work on. You see, once you start learning, don't even look at anybody's face like, oh, I'm still new in cybersecurity. What I learned now is really, really small. Blah blah blah. Other people have advanced. No, 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 no. Those people that advanced, they started from somewhere. I mentioned like they started from somewhere. Post your own work to like do it one after like even if it's IP address you learned about today, detail everything you learned about IP address, post it on either LinkedIn or Twitter. So I advise mostly LinkedIn or Twitter, but if you need personal connection with people, I think Discord is okay too. But it's harder finding people on Discord. So I think Twitter, LinkedIn, those two, they will help you a lot in your cybersecurity journey. So you don't feel alone because one thing about cybersecurity, you always feel alone when you're doing stuff. But you don't need to feel alone to feel like okay, you're doing great in cybersecurity. Connect with people, mingle with people like other people. You see like mind. In fact, where you think you already know, someone else might actually have a better understanding than you. And then if you guys are sharing knowledge and showing each other different learning materials like that, you get to learn more from them. Just like Kunle and I now, we've been back and forth for over, I don't know, maybe let's say 2 years now. And we met online. We've not even seen each other in real life yet. Like we've not met in real life at 30 days. We just met online and then we've learned a lot through each other. Like give me materials today, I learn, give him also. So we keep sharing knowledge. Like, so that's how to grow in cybersecurity. One thing. So document your progress to show your growth and then attract opportunities. So I think I've mentioned this one also. Like have a portfolio. If you don't have a portfolio yet, have a pen on paper, like something like somewhere you just write your things down. But I would advise not just writing it and keeping it offline. Yet to attract more opportunities, you need to post your stuff online. So that I think that's one mistake most people make in tech. If you keep yourself eating, oh I'm shy, oh I'm this, oh I'm that, I'm actually very like I was. Cybersecurity changed me. No cap. Cybersecurity changed me. See me now, I've been talking for over an hour. I'm someone, let's say 4 years back or 3 years back, I really don't talk. I keep to myself. I don't post anything online. Like I'm totally almost invisible online. But now I have over maybe 2.5K followers on Twitter like that. So through posting my work and sharing my stuff, and everyone knows me like that, like that. So that's just how to do it in cybersecurity. You could others. Oh, I'm trying. You need to break off it. Like you will need to break off it at some point. So you need to post your work. You need people to see you. You get in a way, but you don't need to like get addicted to that. Oh, I need people to see me. I need that spotlight. You don't need that. Just post your stuff. Put your stuff out there. Comment on other people's work. If you see that, oh, they inspire you, reach out to them in the DM. Some of them might not reply in time. You go reach out to them in the DM, connect with people. And I tell my students one thing also: if you're connecting with people, if you're connecting with people, your main goal is I want to get something of value from them. But one thing you should also have is value. You can value goes in the place of value. Yes, that's one motto I use. Value goes in the place of value. If you don't have something you're giving to others, I'm not sure they'll be so keen to actually giving anything back in return to you yet. So if they see that okay, you have some tangible information, some things you've done, you get, so I think they'll be willing to share more resources and share their knowledge with you. Yet so it goes like reciprocal, you get. So that's it. So quotes, the expert in anything was once a beginner. So yeah, that's it. Like today now, it might be the starting point of your cybersecurity journey. If you register with MyFlux, get so this might be the starting point for you. In the next few years now, you look back and be, oh, I started from here. You get, I listened to someone talking on this space, so you get. Today might be your own starting point. So everyone has a starting point. Gets so that's the end of my talk. Thank you everyone for listening. Sorry I took too long though. If you have any question, please feel free to ask.
It's really, really a nice, actually a great time having you here, my friend. Thank you very, very much. I'll, I will say a very big thank you. I will say a very big thank you. Thank you very, very much. All right, so I know we all have a lot of questions. Now, if you have a question, can you just raise up your hand if you have a question? So I will know where I'm okay. Mary Usobo have a question number one. So now, Mary, can you actually come first? Mary, just unmute your mic and let's have you.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Good.
My name is Mary. Thank you for the class, and I have lots of questions.
All
So,
right, that's why we are here.
um, when I registered for the webinar, I have made my research about cybersecurity and looking for boot camps. And I did. You mentioned Cisco. I did the Cisco program, and I got my certificate. So, like, because for me, I believe a lot of us are not into tech and we are new and we want to like transition into tech. And maybe we are still like thinking about which part of tech to like transition into and something that is beginner friendly. So, when I made my research about cybersecurity, I realized that, oh, it is so broad, it is so big. And if you are not like specific about it, you might get lost in it. So I made my research and I realized that okay, I think what I can do is let's go see analyst. It's beginner friendly and with time I can grow. So my question is about the bootcamp. Is it that you guys are going to be teaching us generally cybersecurity, or if we choose the path we want to go to in cybersecurity, you guys are just going to specialize on the part that I want? And my second question is, does the bootcamp, is it just about teaching or does it come with training and practice? And are we going to be able to work as freelancers when we are done? Because I believe lots of the company, they want someone that can work face to face, at least for the starting time, and also them giving their laptop. So I also want to know if we are going to get certificate and what type of certificate are we going to get, and if we are going to have internship, CV, LinkedIn optimization, and work reference to push us into the work of cybersecurity. I don't know if you get me. That's my question.
All right. So the question you asked is talking about the boot camp. Also, you're also talking about how hands-on looks like. All right. Actually, I was trying to maybe after the whole point, after the whole question session, I'll talk about the boot camp. Right now, for the boot camp, we're having a boot camp um for from the 20, a 2 day boot camp, 25th to 26th of this month. And now the boot camp is only main it's actually focusing on let me say ethical hacking and 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 not only ethical hacking. So if you are able to come for the boot camp, Mary, you can also talk to me, and then I'll actually put you through one or two that you can actually go through that will actually makes you not let me not just say job ready, intern ready. Now the common mistake, I don't know if Samuel, if I'm correct. Now the common mistakes that newbie are doing presently is they are looking for a job. I think they should start looking for intern first. That's the first thing I started looking for. I started looking for internship because start looking for a job. It looks, I don't know, but for me, there are some intern. They are paid intern. Yeah, they are paid intern. But okay, you just finished your cybersecurity class, maybe in the next 4 or 5 months, and the next thing is you're actually waiting for a company to come and hire you. The first thing you should actually look for is an intern. Start looking for internships, couples of internships. We have like DGISS, we have cybersecurity conference of cybersecurity, which is actually it will be purely remote. I don't know if you are actually saying in your mind.
Because I mentioned the internship already, and I asking my question because I didn't say, oh, I want to get right into the job market. I know we need internship because it will serve as
Okay, okay,
practical, like, oh, we have worked for a company, because most of the company they need like, oh,
yeah,
you have an experience, you have worked, so it will like help our CV, which I clearly like stated. So what my question was like I don't want to do general cybersecurity. I just want to go direct to, oh, it's SOC cybersecurity. I want to do. I want to know if I can just be trained in SOC cybersecurity and not general, because it is wide. It is a lot. I also did the Coursera cybersecurity. It is a lot. So I believe like there's like, oh, this is what I want to focus on. I want to do this. Can I be trained in this? So that's it. And
All right,
then I
Samuel. Okay, all right. No,
Okay, so
the internship,
Samuel, you
if
can
we have
talk.
sorry, hold
helped in
on.
it, or we have to.
Okay, sorry, yeah, I had to cut you off a little bit. So, I grab what she's
Yes,
talking about. Like, you want to go straight into like, let's say SOC is where you're picking now. You want to go straight into SOC instead of learning the old general stuff because it's really big. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. But then it's actually, it might actually come back biting you in the leg because you are not at the beginning phase, you are not learning everything. I know cybersecurity is big itself, but you are not learning everything at the beginning phase. I hope you get that. Like even during the boot camp, you're not going to learn like they're not going to train you like all rounder. I don't know if you get something like training you for security engineer roles, stuff like because security engineer people are the ones that do stuff like all around. So if you are going for SOC, even though you're still going for SOC, you need to like if you've taken courses before, okay, that's fine. You can start training for SOC stuff. But if you are still sort of new or intermediate to it, go through the normal learning of the basic. Once you have a roadmap, like learn the networking, Linux fundamentals, which on OS. I've mentioned networking, OS, endpoint security. Then which one? There's something again. I think there are just five basics I recommend for people first. Then after that, you can then go into your SOC. I feel that's still okay. Yeah, so because there's some core knowledge you are going to be missing out from your beginning phase if you just jump straight into SOC. Okay, for example, if you go into SOC, they might not start teaching you in your SOC classes. They might not start teaching you what because CIHR is still like easy peasy. They might not start teaching you what a MITRE attack framework is. They might not start teaching you what an OSI model is anymore. You get in your SOC. Once you go into SOC straight up, they're expecting you to come with okay firewall knowledge, endpoint security knowledge, all those knowledge already. So they are expecting you to be like half baked. Yeah. So if you go into SOC straight up, it come back biting you in the leg. You need to still learn some basics, then go into SOC. I know cybersecurity is big, but beginning phase, you don't need to learn everything. That's what I was saying earlier on the talk to. Like you don't need to learn everything. Learn the core basics, then you can now niche down. So I hope I cleared some things for Mary.
yes, sir. But will you guys help us with like specializing in the field we want after learning the basics and like things we need generally?
Yes, yes.
Okay, and what certificate are we going to be given? Like what certification?
Do you know? Okay, let me say this. Certification is different from a certificate.
Okay.
Now, MindFlux will present you a certificate, not certification.
Mm.
In cybersecurity, we have professional certifications that cost the least that I know about. So, Sammy, is it not ISC square, which is the least ISC square?
Yeah, that's true. IC score is the least you can at least get. It is sort of free. Yeah, it is even
And
free.
that costs almost yeah, good. ISC were actually free for now, so that is the actually the list. But MindFlux Academy will actually give you a certificate. Now it's now your own now let me just add this to it. The curriculum that we are using in MindFlux is actually based on ISC square standard. ISC square standard. So which means once you are done with MindFlux, you can choose to take 1 month break just to practice for yourself. Then you can launch your ISC square exam. This is it's a professional exam that is recognized, a well-recognized professional exam. So Mary,
Okay.
can you hear me?
Yes, I I already like registered for the exam I have next month on the 27th. So that's what I wanted to like confirm, and I feel
What do
scared
you
of
say?
writing the exam. I already like registered for the exam.
Why
I've
are
been
you?
giving my, yes, for ISC.
Oh, oh, so sorry, Mary, if I may ask, where are you located?
I'm from Nigeria, but I'm in Cyprus.
Oh, all right, all right, all right, all right, all right. No problem, no problem.
So
I
thank you
will
for,
want you to join our upcoming boot camp so that you can actually see how it works, how because it's actually physical and online and virtual. What about that?
okay, okay. I'll go through it like maybe on your Instagram.
No, no problem, no problem. Thank you very, very much. Hope I actually answered your question, right?
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome. So please, do we have any other question before we proceed? All right. In the absence of no, I think someone raised up his hand and the other time that he has a question. Okay. All right, Mr. Wilfred, promise. You can ask your question, sir.
Yeah, good evening. You
Good
said something
evening, Mr.
about
Wilfred.
paid internship before. Just like
All right.
Melly, I also have taken some courses on cybersecurity, and like you said, it's not when you finish the course you start looking for job. You need that internship. So I don't know if you people are doing that paid internship, or where can someone get the paid internship? That's my question.
All right. Presently, we are not doing a paid internship in our office. So basically, Mindfulness Academy is an edtech firm. So presently, we are not doing a paid internship. But if you are among our students, we can actually build you so that you'll be able to get an internship opportunity. Because the only thing I noticed about these recent companies in cybersecurity is they don't just offer internship. So now, presently now, I think is it DGISS or I'm
Yeah,
trying to remember that
it's this guy.
company now. They have now restricted their internship now. Yeah, they have restricted their internship now. That if you don't have a certification, you can't get their internship opportunity. Because I noticed that back then, if they are giving an internship, it's actually paid internship. So if they give an internship, they now actually notice that the people they actually give internship opportunity did not even have a background knowledge about it. So just like wasting their resources on them. So that's why they now say, okay, let us upgrade. So if you actually join Mindflux, we'll show you a roadmap where you actually be ready for an internship opportunity. So that is what I can actually talk about when it comes to internships, Mr. Wilfred. Mr. Wilfred, are you there?
Yeah, okay. Thank you very much. That's all I want to
All
ask.
right, all right, sir. So please, is there any other question, please? All right. Since there's no other question, now I would like to inform us that we'll be having a physical boot camp in our office in Ikeja, Lagos, which will be holding on the 25th to 26th of August, 2025, this month. So it's a 2-day boot camp. And after the boot camp, you actually get a certificate of participation. And you will actually have a mentoring session, a one-on-one mentoring session, which I will be there, which you actually see me one-on-one. You actually have a one-on-one mentoring session. And if you're also online, I can actually have also a one-on-one mentoring session with me where we'll talk and actually deliberate on what you need and what you do. Now, the next announcement we have here is that we are actually partnering with a firm, a tech firm, which is we call it Churchill Expansion. So Churchill Expansion is actually a firm that sells all gadgets, laptops, basically laptops, right? Not just laptops. They sell like you can check their Churchill Expansion. So Churchill Expansion is actually offering uh a promo, like let me say a slash in our courses. So Churchill Expansion says it will be taking the initial price for cybersecurity in Mindflux is 200,000 naira. But because Churchill Expansion, we are now partnering with Churchill Expansion. Churchill Expansion says we'll be taking 100,000 of the tuition fees for cybersecurity. So which means if you are registering for cybersecurity with us, right? So that means you'll be having a discount of 100,000 naira, which is from Church Hill Expansion. And this actually has a time limit. It actually has a time limit that it's actually expired. I think that will be in 2 weeks' time, if I'm not wrong. No, maybe this week. Yes, this week. That will be to expire this week. So it's not late. It's not actually late. So you can actually create your time to register with Mindflux Academy, where you actually learn the basics of cybersecurity. So, as you have said, my name is Akobi Oluwakule Johnson. And if you have interest to join our 2-day bootcamp, I've actually sent a link, a Google Meet, a form right on this chat. So you can actually click on it, right? Once you click on it, you actually register. If you want to join the bootcamp online, you are free to join the bootcamp online. If you want to do physical, you can actually come down to our office. Don't forget, we have a limited slot for it. So we have a limited slot for it. And please, before we actually call it a day, do you still have any other question? All right. So since there is no question, I want to really appreciate everybody here today. Before I continue, please, if you know you actually learned something from today's webinar, can you just give us an emoji? If you actually learned something from today's webinar, can you just give an emoji that, oh, you learned something from today's webinar? Because I learned something. I learned something. If you learn one or two from today's webinar, please just give us an emoji so we'll know, okay, so we'll know that we actually try. Thank you very, very much for the emoji. I really appreciate every one of us here. So if you're in Lagos, feel free to register for our upcoming bootcamp. And don't worry, there is something that will happen at the bootcamp, which I will not say it yet. So thank you guys for joining. And my friend Samuel, I really, really appreciate you. You are always, you are always turning up for me. Thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it, my bro. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. So, guys, do have a nice day.